Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today is the start of our holiday collection. So starting the first week of December, you'll be able to pick up these holiday bars. So for this particular batch of soap today, I drew up a design to do my favorite winter item. It's not the snow, it's not the presents. It's the first thing you drink in the morning. So for this soap, I'm gonna be making Peppermint Mocha. Yes. For this starting batch, I'm gonna be using my espresso soap recipe. I'll have the list of oils and butters that I used in the description box below. So we have our oils ready. We have our lye. We also added tussa silk and sodium lactate to the lye batch. I made a mint green. We're gonna dilute this down with some titanium dioxide. We're gonna have a brown color. This is gonna be our coffee color. And I also have some titanium dioxide. For this design, I'm gonna have a base of the three components that make up a peppermint mocha, which is gonna be the peppermint, the coffee / chocolate, and vanilla, because I like cream in my coffee, honey. I don't know about y'all. We're also putting some additives. I have my heavy cream, and I also have some French green clay that I'm gonna add to this batch as well. I'm hoping that the titanium dioxide will overshadow the white, because on the top I want to do a frosting with a mint green drizzle, and I have some beautiful embeds to put on top. Alrighty, let's suit up for safety. We have on our safety goggles and our gloves. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up my heavy cream powder. I'm going to do about a hefty tablespoon and a half of the heavy cream. I want this to be a really creamy, luscious bar. I think in the wintertime, packing a recipe full of really good skin-loving additives is really, really important. And then I always throw in a clay. So I'm gonna be using about a tablespoon of the green French clay. I'm gonna go ahead and move these additives to the side, and we're gonna start blending these all in. Let's start blending. As always, try to get as many of your additives into the bottom so they'll immerse better and become one with the oils. Let's blend. Alrighty, as you can see, this took on a very pea greeny kind of vibe, and that's from the clay. But like I said, I'm hoping that the titanium dioxide will cancel this out. We're gonna pull over our lye solution. And as I stated, this has the sodium lactate as well as some tussa silk, because I really want a really silky, creamy bar. Because holiday skin needs holiday loving, and that includes really good additives. So I'm gonna give this a final twirl. Burp the baby. Tilt this over, and we're gonna pour down the stick blender. I'm gonna pulse this as well. Alrighty, now that my lye solution is in the pot, I'm gonna give it a swirl, and we're gonna blend this on low setting for about a minute. All right. Let's pull in our colorants. So this one here is our green. This green color is a mix of radioactive and Let Us Entertain from Matte Micas. And in this container, I have a mix of Tall, Dark, and Handsome and Satin Penny, also from Matte Mica. And then we have our titanium dioxide, which was also from Matte Micas as well. We're gonna push that one to the side just so we don't have no problems. We're gonna pull that in to bring this to a more creamy mint color, going towards pastel. Now I added the radioactive in here, which is a neon green color, because I really want this to be vibrant, and then start to mute it down with the white. So we're gonna pour in each container. I want to get these colors where I want them to go before I add in my custom fragrance. So I'm going to take my spatula, and we're going to start with the lightest color first, which will be the green. Ooh, that looks really nice, actually. All right, that looks good to me. So now I'm gonna come over here and do the coffee / chocolate influence for this. I was leaning back and forth between doing a individual color for the coffee and an individual color for the chocolate, but I figured they'd be really similar in color, so I decided to just keep it with a 3-tone. That looks like a nice strong brewed cup of coffee. So now we have that done, and that's looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and take this section here. We're gonna go ahead and fragrance this, and we're gonna put on our titanium dioxide. We're gonna go ahead and fragrance this. I've measured out about 3 ounces of fragrance oil. This right here smells just like a peppermint mocha frappe. Oh my God. This is a custom blend that I made, really trying to hone in on all the components that I absolutely love. So I'm gonna pour a little bit in here and a little bit in here and then the rest in here. Every last drop. All right, so I'm gonna take my titanium dioxide. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. I'm gonna savor some because I might need it here in a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend this on low. Beautiful. So in this big container, I'm gonna put the white alone, and this is gonna be for our frosting. All right, so now that I have these solid white ready, I'm gonna set this to the side, and this is gonna thicken up while we do the rest of the building here. Alrighty, so I brewed up some coffee earlier today, and I kept the filter, so this is brewed coffee. Now, you can use fresh coffee without brewing it, but you do risk getting a little bit of bleeding of the brown from the coffee. It'll start to like kind of brew, I guess, in the batch, and you'll start to have like this bleeding. So if you brew the coffee first, it'll save you on that issue. And we're gonna put a nice little dollop in there, a little dollop over here, and a little dollop over there. Let's grab a spatula. We'll just use this one. And get that all nice and broken in there. And you can see the flecks of coffee in there. Coffee bars to me are one of my favorite exfoliators. You get the natural caffeine from the coffee. It's not really harsh, and since I already brewed the coffee, they're really gentle actually. I'm gonna grab me a little whisk and go ahead and do the green. And that little chinky whisk decided he was leaving the party early, but he did a good job. We get a bigger whisk, and we're gonna do the white. Give that a good swirling in. Beautiful. That looks like flecks of like vanilla bean ice cream, actually. I love it. So we're gonna grab our mold. So now that all 3 colors are ready to go, we're gonna do it in the pot swirl. And I'm gonna start with the green. Swirl him in. About half will do you. Do the same thing with the brown. I'm gonna save some of this for the top if this isn't enough. I'm just gonna pour this in. All right. That looks amazing. I'm not gonna scrape this because I wanna add more green. So I'm gonna do a drop swirl of a green. And the coffee and chocolate inspired color. A little swirling action. Why not? You guys know me, I love those drips on top. All right. So this is done in the pot. I'm gonna let this set up, and in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and grab some molds so we can get rid of this excess colored batter. My excess batter never goes to waste. So I'm gonna take what's left in here. I'm gonna swirl in my green and my chocolate color. Take my spatula, clean down the sides to get that white batter in there. Then we're gonna finish off the green on the outside. I'm gonna do the same thing with the chocolate coffee color. Bring it in the center. I picked up a lot of individual molds for the holiday season. I picked up these beautiful owl molds. I love these. They hold about 3 to 3.5 ounces of soap. And when they're really compacted, these right here last several weeks by the sink. And they hold up really well in the shower and the bath. So I've already spritzed these with alcohol. So let's pour it in. So now that my owls are filled, my mold is filled, and I'm currently waiting for my white to firm up for frosting. We're gonna pause it right here and we'll be back with the frosting. My soap frosting is ready to go. Alrighty, so my soap frosting is ready to go. He's a nice, thick consistency like I like it. So I'm gonna take this in my handy dandy piping bag, give him a swirl, and we're gonna dollop on the top. The idea behind this design came from my love of adding peppermint to anything in the wintertime. Oh my goodness. I like peppermint tea, peppermint in my coffee. Peppermint just does something to you. Now I've cut back on my trips to my local coffee shops because those things are loaded with sugar. So I'll do my own little like DIY coffee. So I'm gonna take a pipette and I'm gonna get my green and I'm gonna fill this puppy up. I'm just gonna drizzle this right onto the bars. Now the oil that I use for this drizzle is actually some grapeseed oil. It was the closest one to me when I was making this up. So that's why we use it. That's looking good. I'm gonna refill the piping bag. Now, I decided to go with the open star tip for this because I thought it would give me a really true representation of the whipped topping on my coffee. That looks really good to me, so I'm gonna take this excess and pipe it into one of my molds real quick. Be right back. Let's get the rest of my drizzle and let's load him up. We don't want anybody feeling they got left out of this drizzle. All right, I think that's enough. Let me get the embeds. I've been planning this bar and this whole holiday collection for months because I knew what I wanted. I made some mint colored and some chocolate colors. So this is like a malt chocolatey bar situation and a really pretty mint green. I also went and picked up some nice organic coffee beans. Ooh, and these are gonna be put on the sides. So let's start with the top. So each bar will get a lovely gumdrop accessory right on the top. These other gumballs in here are for the other soaps in the collection. So if you're curious, then stay tuned because for the whole month, we'll be sharing with you guys all of the designs for this coming holiday. Just with some coffee beans on it. I'm gonna try my best to get these puppies on here. I wonder if I can kind of like press them on. This might work, guys. There we go. Flip it around, do the other side. And that looks beautiful. Look at those coffee beans. And for the piece of resistance, one more random drizzle. So for the holiday collection, I picked up a whole bunch of samples, including this beauty. This is Sparkle Me Plenta Mica, glitter mica from Mad Micas. All right, so I'm gonna take my favorite little paintbrush. I'm gonna dip it in, tap it off. Just gonna put a little bit on there. Not a lot, just a pinch. And a final hit to lock in all that glitter, all that wee bit of glitter, and it's done. So, you know what's next. We're gonna put this beauty to bed. In about 18 to 24 hours, we'll be back to cut and see that beautiful swirling inside.